and I'm 27 years old. I've been working for a food delivery app in Atlanta, Georgia, for the past 2 years. Most nights are routine, picking up orders, dropping them off, and moving on to the next. But there was one night I'll never forget. It was a Friday night, around 9 p.m., when I got a request that seemed off from the start. The order was from a place I'd never delivered to before, an old part of town where most houses looked abandoned. The customer left a note in the app, *, please deliver to the back door. Do not knock on the front. Just leave the food there. *, it wasn't unusual to get specific delivery instructions, but something about this one made my skin crawl. I almost declined the order, but the extra tip made me reconsider. So I accepted it, picked up the food, and drove to the address. When I arrived, the house looked worse than I had imagined. It was one of those places that you see in horror movies, boarded up windows, overgrown yard, and a general sense of decay. The street was completely empty, not a single car or person in sight. I parked my car and grabbed the food, feeling a knot tighten in my stomach. I walked around to the back of the house. There, in the dim light, I saw a note taped to the door. It read, * do not enter. *. The handwriting was jagged and rushed, as if written by someone in distress. Every instinct in me screamed to leave, but I felt like I was being watched. And not wanting to upset the customer, I placed the food on the doorstep. As I turned to go, I heard it, a faint sound, like footsteps crunching on the gravel behind me. My heart pounded in my chest, and I froze. Slowly, I turned my head, but there was no one there. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me, so I quickly walked back to my car, trying to keep my cool. Just as I was about to get in, I glanced back at the house. That's when I saw it, through a gap in the boards covering a window, a pale face staring directly at me. My blood ran cold. I jumped into my car and sped away, not looking back. The next morning, I saw a news report about that very house. The police have found a body in the basement, a woman who had been chained to the wall for weeks. They said she had likely died the night before. My stomach churned as the realization hit me. If I had gone inside or hesitated even a moment longer, I might have ended up like her. I quit the job the next day. Some deliveries just aren't worth the risk.